you played Sonic games in the early 2000s, then you probably remember that grinding on rails was an important game mechanic and a lot of fun. Sonic would grind on rails with his shoes that had special grooves in the bottom. But did you know that you could get a pair of these shoes in real life and do much the same thing? Hi guys, I'm Digital Elf Memory, and we're going to take a look at one of the most awesome fads of the extreme sports era. Make sure you like and subscribe because we're going to explore the life and death of soap shoes. In the late 90s and early 2000s, America was in the grips of the extreme sports craze. Stuff like skateboarding and rollerblading were popular everywhere, sure, but in California they were life. And with Sega having its American subsidiary based out of California, it's only natural the two would one day cross paths. If you weren't around back in the day, then you may not remember these, but soap shoes were skateboarding shoes with a plate in the sole that allowed the wearer to grind on curbs and rails with techniques resembling that of aggressive inline rollerblading. The first shoes were made in 1997 by Chris Morris. They were meant to be a convenient answer to rollerblades. Instead of having to strap one of those things on, which could take a while, you could run up to a rail and grind with the shoes you had on. Through a bit of marketing and some public exhibitions, these shoes became pretty popular during the time that Sega was in San Francisco developing Sonic Adventure 2. Sadly, though, soap shoes never did reach the high heights of popularity that skateboarding or rollerblading enjoyed, though there is still a devoted cult following who still to this day practice. One of the world's only professional soap shoe skaters wrote and illustrated a book detailing his various techniques and tricks that's still available on Kindle. Heck, I'm even in a Facebook group that continues to champion the sport, posting videos of their grinds and fails. And if you want to see more of that, check out the Melbourne Soap Shoe group on Facebook. Also, make sure to check out Solid Grinds. It's an archive of everything soap shoes. I'll put a link to that down in the description below as well. Be sure to check it out after the video. Eventually, though, the brand was sold to the Heelys company, which was a good fit. It did have a slight revival back in the early 2000s, but ultimately, it faded into obscurity and then into non-existent. Soap shoes are now just collector's items that are sought out by sneakerheads and people like me who hope to relive that time. Other fans are hoping for a revival, and there have been some whispers about other companies making grind shoes. And good news on that front, Epic Grinds has a grind shoe out. Definitely check that out, it's pretty nifty. Sega took inspiration from all this back in the day and added rail grinding into Sonic Adventure 2. The soap shoe company Artemis Innovations then approached Sega with an opportunity for a sponsorship. In addition to sporting those iconic soap kicks, if we look around in City Escape, the first level in Sonic Adventure 2, we can see billboards and other branding for soap shoes across the level. Please note, though, that these brandings are only seen in the Dreamcast version of the game. In later versions, after soap shoes ceased to be, these were removed, but Sonic still got to keep those really nice shoes, so he got a good deal out of it, I think. When I was a kid playing the Dreamcast, I didn't even know that these were a thing. I thought they were just another fictional brand, like Chow Soda or Chow in Space. I didn't see any kids wearing these shoes at school, and it turns out these shoes were banned, which makes sense. For legal reasons, you don't want these kids busting up their faces trying to grind on rails and curbs. A couple years later, though, I looked it up out of curiosity and found out that these were, in fact, actual shoes that you could buy, and they'd really enable you to grind on rails with some practice and skill. I was in my early 20s at the time and kind of bummed out that I'd missed out on this awesome piece of extreme sports history and gaming history. I mean, it was a real item from a game that a character wore, and wearing those would give you one of his core abilities. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? So, of course, I bought a pair. I threw them right on and ran right down to my local skate park to bust my face up. Thankfully, no photo evidence exists of me falling off the rails on my ass like a goober, but I still managed to learn some of the fundamentals and even managed to get a few solid grinds off. Eventually, though, my knees said no more. It was a lot of fun, but honestly, I don't miss it, and I don't think I could do it again now that I'm in my 30s. Heck, I don't even have the shoes anymore. They were old when I got them. I bought them off of some old new stock. And a lot of the materials of the shoes, the glue, the foam, and stuff like that, do tend to break down over time. So, to be fair, they held up for a couple of years, but I did end up throwing them away as I had worn right through them. And I wish I still had a pair. I tried to get another one for this video, but unfortunately the few pairs that I could find didn't fit and were just way too expensive. With a revival on the horizon, Do you think that they'll become a big thing again? Did you have a pair of these back in the day, or did you even know that these were a thing at all? I want to know about your experiences down in the comments below, and a big shout out to our patron, Jessica Tiger. Thank you so much for your support. You're awesome. And if you want to support the channel and get early access to videos like these, then become a patron. I will have a link down in the description below, so definitely check it out. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!